quick video going over the sway bar installation on the Genesis in the front, and then eventually we'll do the full install on the rear. It's pretty simple though, so we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to take off the end links here. On the Genesis it's going to be a 17mm bolt, and when you crack it at first it's going to be pretty easy to get off. What's going to happen is your bolt's going to keep spinning. I have a broken 15 that's stretched out that fit pretty well in there, but I think it's like a 16 or a 17. But you're going to need a crescent to fit in here. The adjustables are a little bit too big to fit in there. Then going through, we can come over here. We have 14mm bolts. We take off this one and this one, and then same on the other side. And then you're going to be able to drop the old one out. Mine's sitting over there. And then we put the new ones on. What we do is we take off on this one. They come with the you have to reuse the stock brackets. So what we're doing is we have the polyurethane bushing underneath, and then we have we greased up the inside. That's what that greasiness is, like that. Lithium grease on the inside, and then we just literally bolted it up right in the same exact spot. And this one, which is I believe 3mm larger than stock, so it's going to give us quite a bit of improvement. Then of course it's adjustable. I have mine set on the what is it, the street setting, I guess you could say, the softer setting, which it's already stiffer than stock, so that should be what I'm looking for in the front. Alright, so now we're into the back of the car. We have the car up on ramps here, and we're looking at the rear sway bar. Now, I'm not too sure if you have a 2013 Genesis Coupe, or even like one of the earlier years, 2009, 10, or 11, or 12. I don't have the stock set up here as far as exhaust, so it might be a little bit different. You might have to remove part of the exhaust in order to get to this. But in my case, I didn't. Only thing I did have to remove, this 10mm nut right here. I loosened it up with a 10mm spanner, and then got that off, and that allowed me to get this out of the way. Now from here, it was a lot easier for me to get this off with a, it's a lot easier for me to get this off here, the 17mm torque wrench just gave me enough torque to actually get it off, and I'll finish taking that off with something automatic. And then once we get that off, then we got to come back to the center, which is kind of hard. Well, not center, but we got to take off these two mounts. There's one here, 14mm, and 14mm here, and of course the same on the other side there. And of course the end link, which comes off right here. Now it's easier to take it off here because the spring is in the way if you're trying to take it off from this side. So I went ahead and cracked these and got them off. These are the end links. Couldn't get to these with a socket because of the springs were in the way on the car. But if you have a 17mm crescent wrench, then you can get them off that way. But I really couldn't reach. So, alright, and then these, they're going to be a bitch to get off because they're kind of like seized on there. But I'm sure I can find a mallet that's going to help get them off. Alright, here's the only way I can get them off. I don't know if anyone else has a better idea, but basically, you know, piece of wood holding up the two sides, and then a small sledgehammer. And of course it's easier with two hands, but little by little you go deaf, and then after that it comes apart, and I can't hear shit right now, but that's how I got them off. Hopefully no one else's is that hard. So now to get the rest together, we've got to lubricate the inside of this. So we put that on. put it all through the inside. And that was enough for like a quarter of it. So that's how it's going to look like, all up in there. So here the bushings are polyurethane mounted, and you can see that little split right there a little bit. And basically they're cut, and then you can put them on. And then right now these are all lubed up and ready to go back in the car. So these go back on. So one last thing, want to put our end links back on and make sure they're oriented the right way, otherwise you're gonna pay yourself. Make sure it's good and tight. Check it with the torque wrench. And of course, we'll do the same on the other side. So, lazy me, step on it. A lot easier to tighten it that way. Here we are into the car again. We've got these two bolts in. It's kind of hard to show everything under the car because it's kind of everything's a two-handed job here. Go ahead and put our end link nut back in on this side, and then we'll hit that with the torque wrench and a impact wrench here in a second. And on this side we've already got these threaded. We'll thread that in there too. Alright, and we'll go ahead and tighten everything up.